YouTube? It's Jer here from the Fragrance Bros, bringing you guys the final Oudvember video, the Oudvember wrap-up video as promised. I know it's a little late, a few days late, and I apologize for that. I really do. I've just been very busy with holiday gift buying, and I've been very busy at work, and also been a little under the weather, as you can probably hear in my voice. Had a cold for a while, so I wanted to wait till my voice was all the way better, but it was just taking too long. So you guys get the the very white version of Jer for this video, and maybe some coughing too. This is the Oudvember wrap-up video. For those of you who haven't seen any of the Oudvember videos, Oudvember was a little fragrance experiment that we did, where I wore only oud scents for the entire month of November, and it was a different one every day. And then I posted a video every evening with kind of some information about the scent, my general impression and experience with it. And it's been a very fun series. I think people have really enjoyed it. It's been fairly popular. People seem to have be tuning in regularly, and a lot of commenting, a lot of interaction with the community. So it's really been a huge pleasure, and I think we're very proud of this series, and we plan to do more in the future. Everyone keeps saying do December, Amber for December, which I mean, it's a great name. I don't think that'll ever happen, because December is pretty much devoted to 12 Doc for us, to our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway, which today is the excuse me, today's the 3rd, which means that the the first 12 Doc video goes live in 11 days. I believe the first one is the 14th. The announcement video will be a few days before that. So 12 Doc is coming. I'm so excited. I know what all the gifts are. You guys know. Anyways, back to the lecture at hand, and let's talk about Oudvember. Now, I polled the community for some questions, I think on day 24, 25, something like that. So I've got those written down, and I'll answer those. I wanted to start real briefly myself, but I'm going to try to spend most of the time answering the questions, because I'd rather have the information come out in response to your questions than me just talking. You've been listening to me talk for a whole month, so I'll give you guys a chance to ask some questions. So just real briefly, the idea for Oudvember just kind of came to us out of nowhere. I don't think anything really sparked it per se. It just kind of popped in our minds, and oud has been a note that's always been challenging to us, to both of us. And we've got a couple of oud videos already, and we just had a lot of negative to middling experience with it. And oud has become so prevalent in the fragrance community with these designer and niche houses, that we really felt like it deserves some attention from us to really try to understand it better, because it's just every freaking where. So Oudvember was born, and I volunteered for it, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So that was the origin of it, and I'll say a few more things afterwards. Let's get into the questions. So Novia Scents had 3 questions. The first one was, what did I initially expect? Well, it probably comes as no surprise to you that I was very nervous. My initial expectation was that it would be a month of just awfulness, and that held out some of the time, maybe half of the time, but there were some really enjoyable times too. So I think I initially expected it to be just a horrible month. It didn't turn out to be that way. It wasn't quite so bad. I got used to it fairly quickly, and it was pretty good. Overall take on the note. If you've watched all the videos, you probably have an idea of what my impression is, or what I'm going to say. My overall take on the note is that it's varied. It doesn't take the same form every time. It can range from a clean, sweet oud to a really woody oud to a really stinky body odor kind of thing. It really just depends on how it's paired and what it's paired with. A lot of times oud seems to be a bit like tofu, where it just takes on some of the qualities of that which it's paired with, or that it's combined with. So if you have an oud, like an oud rose combo, it's going to smell real rosy. If you have an oud cedar combo, it's going to smell pretty cedary, and you get the idea. So a lot of times in most of these fragrances, oud was not the main player. It was just, you know, second or third string to some of the other notes. And you know, I believe the reason that is because oud as a note is really, you know, like just basic default pure oud is really tough to bear for most people, for most noses. And I think that most fragrance houses can't make a lot of money off that, so they're gonna, you know, dress it up with lots of other notes that are more enjoyable and then try to sell it that way. And you know, I think everyone's jumping on the oud bandwagon like they did on the sport flanker bandwagon, you know, a few months or a year ago, whenever that was. I think a lot of it's unnecessary, and I think a lot of it's just an attempt to cash in. I don't think a lot of these oud scents are really respecting the note and where it comes from, the Middle East, and you know what it means there. I think a lot of these are, I mean, they're throwing oud in with stuff that doesn't even make sense to go with oud. Just trying to say, hey, we've got an oud scent, you know, come give us your money. So I think that's kind of lame. It's just a personal opinion. Her next question, his or her, I can't tell from the name. The next question was the top 5 I enjoyed and why. Let's see. This is in no particular order. Well, the first one is Oud 1 from Parfumerie Bruckner is definitely the best one of the month for me. It was, I mean, head and shoulders above all the rest. I loved it and enjoyed it and fully intend to split it and get a big old share because that stuff is awesome. And you add to it the fact that it's only available in Germany, and the one place that sells it in Germany won't ship to the U.S., so you have to know someone there who will buy it and ship it for you. You know, it adds such a you know, such a aspect of uniqueness and rarity to this scent here in the States, or you know, maybe here in the Western Hemisphere, that just makes it all the more interesting and exciting to me. I can't wait. We'll probably split that sometime in January, I guess. So hang on to some of your Christmas money because you're gonna want some of that stuff. It's really good. So that's the number 1. The rest are in no order. I really enjoyed Oud Immortelle from Byredo. Just a great fruity, smoky take on oud. The oud is kind of hard to detect in that scent. Really, it's not real strong, but it's just a great fragrance overall. I also really enjoyed 24 Gold, which is a big surprise to me. I didn't think I liked it as much as I did. I think that was a real winner. I really enjoyed Oud for Highness, not for myself, but just because I feel like it really did the Oud Saffron thing great. The Oud Saffron combo is very prevalent in these oud fragrances. I think that one did it really well. And I guess the 5th one will probably be Harrod's Oud, just to give you a variety. I think Harrod's Oud has this industrial feel that somehow feels formal, and I really like the way that comes off. I think it goes really like a suit and tie, and I think that's another really diverse and interesting oud. It has a lot of oud, to my nose. It has a lot of oud, especially in retrospect as I've smelled them all this month. That was the first day. It has a lot of oud, but it's a very wearable oud, so I would really recommend trying that one out too. So those are my top 5. Oud 1, Oud Immortelle, 24 Gold, Oud for Highness, and the last one I just said that I can't remember. Drawing a blank. Harrod's Aggerwood is what it was. Yeah, there it was. Sorry. All right, next question. Wags Bass. Old Wags Bass. Ever present. Love him. He had 2 questions. The first one was, what were the hits and misses? Well, let's name the top 5. So those were kind of the hits. There were some other ones that I liked too for different reasons. I like Pardon. I don't know. A lot of the misses, you know, I would say a lot of the misses, I mean, of course there were the big stinkers, you know, Oud 27, Leather Oud, those ones. But a lot of the misses to me were just it's just the redundancy of the Oud Rose combo. I mean, my God, you know, I get that they go well together, I guess, but I don't know why these houses, you know, they make a decision that we're going to make an oud scent, and then they just throw Oud Rose together. Like, everyone's already done that. I just really wish the houses would get a little more creative with it. So that to me was the biggest miss, was just this Oud Rose thing it was just inescapable this month. It kind of pissed me off. My God, I just got so sick of smelling like rose. I signed up for Oud month, not Rose month. You know, that's Dave's thing. Dave's going to do the Rose month later in the, you know, next year. So maybe I should save some of those for him and not do them in Oudvember. Fragrances you wanted to try but didn't get to. Well, Aqua de Parma has Colonia Intensa Oud, I think is what it's called. I really wanted to try that one, didn't get to it. There were a few more Montals I would have loved to have tried. There's one called Oud Cafe, which I think may be from Mancera, not Montal. But I've heard that was pretty good. I mean, there are really a lot of them. I can't remember a lot of them off the top of my head. There's a ton of great oud fragrances. A lot of people mentioned quite a few that I just didn't get to. Either I didn't get to them because there was no time for them, or I just didn't have a sample. You know, we're talking about 30 fragrances. I don't own a bottle of any of these. These were all samples that either I had, that we bought for Oudvember, or that someone donated for Oudvember. So I was kind of at the mercy of what I could get my hands on in short order. So a lot of stuff that missed out, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't have a way to get to them. Not much I can do about it. If someone wants to send some oud samples over, I'll be glad to do kind of a follow-up, you know, sometime next year with a few more oud scents. I tried the best I could on day 30 to fit, you know, 3 in on day 30 that I thought were really noteworthy. I still had 5 or 6 in my little Oudvember bag that I didn't get to. Some that I didn't get to were Oud Blossom from Montal, Oud Damascus, Royal Oud from Montal. There was also Black Oud from Montal, and I think there was one more. I think, Brenda sent me a couple that I couldn't find on Fragrantica, so I feel like I already did a couple of those that weren't known real well, so I kind of skipped on, I passed on those two. And then I had some more oud samples myself of stuff that I own that I didn't use. And then of course I have like Oud Wood from Tom Ford, which I own a bottle of, but I think it's deserving of a full review, so I'm not going to do, you know, I'm not going to do a Oudvember day on it. So, all right, next questions come from, I need to speed up a little bit, this is taking a long time. Next question comes from JMO. Most inoffensive and the skunkiest. Well, I'll take the skunkiest first. That's leather oud. It's a butthole. It smells like a butthole. Hole of a butt, folks. That's the skunkiest. Holy crap. The most inoffensive? That's a good question. I'd say the most inoffensive is probably Versace Pour Homme's Oud Noir. For 2 reasons. Number one, it's just kind of a sweet woody oud. The oud is not very detectable in that sense, so it's hard to offend anybody with the combination of, you know, sweet wood. Sweet wood, bro. And also because the performance is so abysmal that nobody will smell it. So I'd say that was the most inoffensive. Thanks for the question. From Mark T. What patterns of notes combine with oud to make it wearable versus unwearable? That's a good question. Well, my experience is limited to these 30 days, but I'd say the notes that make it wearable are things like, you know, if you add like a citrusy note, woody notes to give it a little more grounding. Sandalwood tends to make it creamier. Let's see. Honey seems to work well with it. Guaiac wood seems to work well with it. That's really all I can think of at the moment. Some of those, I mean, anything that will soften oud up but not make it feminine is a good move in my book. Things that make it unwearable, most definitely that civet combo with oud is just, I mean, my lord. It's like taking a dump on a dump. It's so nasty. It's like double up stank. It's just so bad to me. Holy jeez. And then the rose oud thing, while not unwearable, I just don't care for it personally. It's unwearable to me. I'm not going to wear it. I think it sucks. Thanks for the question, buddy. Let's see. Guy named Baldhead Jim had 3 questions. The first one is baseline reference fragrance for oud. Well, if you want just straight oud, I guess sod is probably the way to go. But I would not smell sod first, simply because I think it gives you the wrong impression of what most oud fragrances will smell like. So I would recommend for a baseline oud fragrance, I would try Harrod's Agarwood, just because there's a good amount of oud in it, but it's, you know, it's doable, it's wearable, it's likable, and then you can kind of take off from there and see how it's combined with other notes, you know, where they use more of it or less of it in varying degrees to make their scent. So I would say Harrod's Agarwood, from the 30 that I tried, is a good baseline reference. What ouds have office wearability? Quite a few. Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir, definitely. Oud Immortelle, definitely. Harrod's Agarwood, definitely. Pardon, not definitely. I wouldn't wear that in the office, probably. Man, I wish so many days. It's hard to recall them really. I'm sorry. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. I don't want to sit here on camera for like 30 seconds and ponder. I'm sorry. Just go back and watch the videos. I can't. It's so rude for me to say. I'm sorry. That's all I can come up with, buddy. This was a really good question. He says something to the effect of, "You seem to focus on hard-to-find oud stinkers versus the mainstream accepted ouds. Was that intentional?" Well, I don't know that I agree with you in that assessment. I feel like that the selection of fragrances for Oudvember was varied in popularity and in the use of oud and the amount of oud. I tried to select these from what I had to give the best representation of oud. So I did a lot of things that some things that were well known, oud fragrances like Harrods, some of these Montals. Some of then I had like the cheaper stuff like the Ferrari oud and the like the stuff that Brenda sent, the Amir Al Oud and those types of things. I had some that folks didn't know just to expose that side, and then I had some that folks did know. I had some that were expensive and some that were cheap. Some that were feminine, really masculine. I tried to give as much of a run of the gamut as I could, and that was by design. And then I tried to hit some of the well-known stinkers too, the Oud 27s and the leather ouds and all that stuff, just because people know those by name, and I think people associate that with the oud so much, those fragrances, because those are stinky. So I guess I would just say I don't think that was the case really. I feel like there was a good variety, and of course I was limited by what I was able to get my hands on. I'm pleased though with the selection. I feel like it was a good selection. Hemlock Sillage or Sillage had 3 questions. How have my thoughts on oud changed? This is probably the key question. I'm going to move that to the end. Will I wear oud in December, or am I burnt out? Well, I'll definitely wear oud, but it'll probably be the ones that I enjoy. A lot of the samples are going to go, I'm going to put the samples that I use for Oudvember away for a possible giveaway. So I don't want to use all that stuff up. But I'll definitely wear oud wood. I'll definitely wear oud immortelle. When I get oud one, I'll be wearing the crap out of that. I would wear Harrods Agarwood if I had a bottle. I don't, but I may get a bottle. I might wear M7 some more. That was a fairly tame oud. I enjoyed that one. So yeah, I'll wear oud, but not the stinky stuff. Like this didn't convert me to like a fan of the stinky ouds. So in that way, I am burnt out. What notes do I want to explore in depth as well? That's a good question. I think it'll probably be more like base notes, because there's more variety there. So your amber, leather, vetiver, rose. Rose isn't necessarily a base note, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe sandalwood. Some of those notes that have become mainstays that houses have built fragrances around. I feel like that's the best way to go. So I don't know what I will do, but you can expect to see more of this kind of feature in the future from the fragrance bureaus. Get back to the question: how have my thoughts on oud changed? That's probably the main question for this video anyway, right? So going into Oudvember, my impression of oud was that it was stinky. And you can watch our earlier oud videos, and you can see that's kind of what we think about it, is that it's stinky, it's harsh, it's rough, and I had no concept of oud being used in varying amounts and with other notes to make all these different accords, these different scents. So as I started going through Oudvember and smelling all these different combinations, I really saw that oud is not the beast that it's made out to be. And maybe pure oud is, but really if you take a pure form of a lot of these notes, it's hard to bear, like pure leather, sometimes kind of rough, pure vetiver, really hard to take sometimes. So it's not exclusive to oud, and a lot of these houses have taken oud and combined it in ways where the oud is almost undetectable, and it's really just in the name, I think, to help sell the bottle. So I think that the biggest way my view on oud changed is that I feel like I kind of stepped back and got a bit more of a bird's eye view on the way oud is used in the fragrance community, or in the fragrance industry, I should say. And I'm not afraid of it at all anymore. I feel like because I wore a month's worth of sometimes really challenging fragrances, a lot of things that I thought were challenging in the past are no longer that harsh to me. I did feel like, this is interesting, I did feel like it gave me a bit more courage about my fragrances. You know, like if I can wear those for a month and nothing bad really happened, like no, I mean, I got ridiculed a few days, but you know, it's no big deal. I got over it. So if I can make it through that, then this other stuff that is not as rough as oud, I can definitely rock this. And so I think that I'm more apt to wear some of these other more masculine fragrances. I think I'm more apt to spray a little bit more because it takes more of those to really match some of the projection of these oud fragrances. My view on oud has changed overall in that when I hear a new oud fragrance now, one that I haven't heard of, I want to try it because I want to see what they did with oud. When before I was kind of like, oud, no thank you, you know, it just scared me. I would run from it. So I think that answers the question pretty well. Overall, this has been just such a fun thing to do. It's trying at times, you know, it's tough, you know, to fit shooting videos in every day and uploading them, editing them, all that sort of thing. But it was more than worth it. It seems like everyone enjoyed it. I really want to thank everyone who donated samples. Thank you so much for your generosity. I only bought decants from a couple folks. Most of it was donated for free. I want to thank everyone that watched. I mean, we have, you know, most of them have at least 400, 500 views. Some have more than that. So a lot of people watched. Not everyone commented. But thank you to those who watched. And to those who commented, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure for me to go in the morning, see all the comments from the night before, sit down and answer them. I tried to be as involved as I could and answer your comments. So it really made me so happy to put forth this effort and for it to be received so well. And I feel like I gained a lot of knowledge and insight into oud and maybe into just kind of fragrance industry as a whole from this month. And I'm looking forward to doing more of them in the future. And I think that's it, guys. I think I'm going to stop there. This is kind of a long video. Thank you so much for your support. We love you guys. And we will see you shortly for 12 Doc. Make sure you guys enter and participate in the giveaway. Talk to you soon.